It is the Riot podcast on whatever podcast service you use. I still get used to saying it on RadioU.
I'm going to call you out on it. You can take your headphones off.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing.
I didn't
know if we were going on air. What was happening?
No, I'll tell you guys.
Is it more comforting to have your headphones?
I was listening back to one of our previous podcasts, which I do from time to time. It's not just what happened to listen to one, but I've listened to several, and I realize when we do the podcast intro, I sound different. And I think it's because when I hear myself in the headphones, I talk different.
Oh, yeah?
And so I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Are you yelling extra loud or something?
He uses his radio voice. Like when he can hear himself, he's like, well, I shouldn't be talking like that. Let me talk my radio voice.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm just doing this. You know what I want? I want the highest quality for everybody
none of us want that.
who uses their hard-earned time
to
listen to the podcast. They have several choices when they listen, and they choose the Riot. So I want to make sure they're getting the best product and that my voice doesn't sound weird and that I'm not pronouncing stuff weird or, a little. I feel like I'm a little too tight-lipped when I don't enunciate all of my P's and T's and B's when I'm.
When you do the podcast
When I'm doing the podcast intro because I don't have headphones on.
How weird.
Yeah. So this is my way of...
on and we'll just let you keep doing that.
And
do
whatever you want, whatever you want, buddy.
Give us a review and let us know if you can tell a difference. If you appreciate my headphone
You're
wearing.
like, wow, he really sounds like he's trying more.
Yeah,
sounds incredible now. Oh, my gosh.
Well, I'm going to be the only one. Like, if we're going to start putting headphones on, then, I can put mine on, too.
Yeah, we can put them on if that would make you feel better, Hudson.
Yeah.
I don't care. If you guys want your voices to not sound as good, then sure.
All right, we'll continue without the headphones.
This is the level that you get.
Yeah, so today on the show, we went over how over the past weekend I had a Friendsgiving, and I was worried about what I was going to bring, but then it turned out that I probably brought the best thing.
You should have been worried about what everybody else was bringing.
I know. If I had known that everybody else was going to bring just not Thanksgiving food, I would have brought something really good. I would have brought the main dish, which I almost already did without even trying.
Aww.
You could have, man.
Well, everybody was super excited because a lot of people were texting about like wanting follow-up and closure to what you brought to Friendsgiving and Friendsmas, and they were really proud of you for bringing something.
I think you mentioned, did anybody bring dessert?
No.
Not a single dessert.
No, actually, there was. One of the girls made cookies.
That's it?
I know.
That's disappointing.
What a mess.
It was a disaster. I mean, it was a disaster.
You don't have like your friend in the friend group that does really good at organization and like they're the one that always leads the thing.
Assigns everything
I
out.
assume that's like because there was like a good amount of girls that were coming. I just assumed that they all had it figured out.
Oh, wow. How sexist of you.
I mean,
I think girls are good at organizing.
I just
As the girl in the room, I think I'm probably the most organized out of you.
Probably are.
For sure.
And sometimes there's a little truth to some of that.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that they like probably didn't even expect me to bring anything. So I just assumed they had it like all handled and planned out. Little did I know that the guys really carried the food. Like literally, I don't know if half the girls even brought anything. Like literally, I was like, what are you guys like? Why are you even here? Why are you here?
Well, listen to find out what did and did not make an appearance.
Yeah.
It will
shock you.
It will shock you. We also went over some of the best Christmas gifts to give. And how are you guys doing with your Christmas gift shopping? Are you guys
Haven't even
ahead?
started yet.
Oh. I'm done.
Nikki, you're
Done
finished?
and wrapped because I am organized.
Yeah, she's organized. She's a girl. She's organized.
Yes.
Check, and check.
So wait, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah?
I ordered something for like everyone. I've already ordered everyone one gift. So I'm one gift in. I get something like for my immediate family, my roommate, and so I'm already good on that. So I think I only have probably a couple more things. I'll probably get everybody like one more thing.
But you have to wrap them.
Yeah, but that's no big deal for me.
Okay, well, that's true. You're good at that.
Expert rapper here.
I've ordered 0 gifts, but granted, I have about probably 2 that I am singularly responsible for, one being, of course, my wife, and the other being the secret Santa person in my family.
So you're talking like one afternoon of Amazon shopping.
Yeah,
that's
probably,
what it sounds like.
But other than that, it's all, my wife is much more of a gift giver than I am, so I just let
her do her thing.
And she's organized because she's a girl, so
you don't want to get in the way.
She'll just figure it out. Yeah, right.
Sometimes
I don't want to
I'll
mess up her system.
Sometimes I'll just buy my own gifts so that Eric, can have them, because if not, they don't come in enough time, and like then I cry and miss out. And then at some points, you'll even just have me wrap them too. Like I'll wrap my own gifts.
And then you open on Christmas and you're like, oh my gosh,
Well,
like, great,
Santa.
what did I get? did.
You don't want to be the one person that has like nothing to open on
I
Christmas.
know.
Even if
Yeah.
you're a person that doesn't care about gifts, it's like everybody else has something but
It
me.
does a real big number on your self-esteem.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I get
well.
it.
Well, let us know the percentage, guys. Text 877 to RadioU, ladies, and tell us how good and how far along
A
are you
little
guys
steady.
on Christmas.
I feel like the girls are going to be much more ahead with their organization
Yeah, I'd say
skills.
so.
Yeah. Well, sounds like we got a good part of a podcast.
Yeah, some good stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll let the podcast start, and we wish you guys a wonderful day. Thank you for listening.
We'll catch you next
Bye.
time.
If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. The Riot, Radio U.
We talked on Friday about how you had a Friendsgiving coming up.
Yes.
A potluck of sorts.
Or a friend miss, I think would
Friends
be.
miss,
Since
yes,
we're past
we're getting there.
Thanksgiving point.
And so for your Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, Friendsmas, what did you wind up bringing to the dinner?
I brought mac and cheese to the dinner.
Yes.
Did
and
you?
it was
Yay.
incredible.
Okay.
It was
follow
so
up.
good.
Did you make it yourself?
Yeah, I made it myself. I put it in the. I was just one of those you put it in the oven and you just cook it. So it was pretty. It was a
Stouffer's?
pre-made. No, it wasn't Stouffer's.
Why do you scoff
say-
at the
You say
Stouffer's?
that like you're scoffing, but I mean,
Yeah.
it would have been something similar.
Yeah, it was similar to that, just like nicer, better,
Yeah.
tasted better.
And what was the?
I don't even know what the brand was, but it
But
looked
it was better.
It looked incredible.
Yeah.
like
What,
it
did you-
looked like it was gourmet.
Yeah, like Stouffer's.
Yeah, like Stouffer's. But it was a good thing that I brought that because I had a really good time. I'm not going to trash the Friendsgiving, but I will say that the spread was very odd.
What do you mean?
Really?
Like we had no turkey.
No!
What?
There was
All
no
the joking about you bringing a turkey, you should have actually done it.
There was no mashed potatoes.
What?
Okay, so there was some miscommunication.
What was this? Friends,
yeah.
Friends Cinco de Mayo?
It was
Friendsgo de
a
Mayo? Like-
Friendsgiving, but like the food didn't reflect that.
Was
So-
it mostly just side dishes then and no like main like
Yeah,
meat
so
item?
we had like the main dishes were all like liquid. So we had like chili with venison was one of
Ooh,
them.
That sounds so good, though.
We had like cheddar bacon soup or something, potato soup. We
But
had
no
two different.
turkey?
We had two different soups.
Two different soups.
There's two different
That's
soups.
one too many soups.
And then there was like a charcuterie board, and there was cookies, and there was rolls, and then there was mac and cheese. So the mac and cheese was like right up there around the main dish area.
Yeah,
So-
that was
there you
good.
go.
It was a
That
good thing I
good.
brought
Was it a
it.
hit? Was it
Oh,
popular?
it was fire. It was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. Everybody was very pleased with my dish, for
So
sure.
just to kind of fill the room here with when you walked in and you noticed there wasn't a turkey, did others notice it as well? Or was it like, no, we weren't
Was
doing
it
that?
nobody
or-
spoke of it? Or
We didn't really talk about it. I wasn't expecting anything. Like, I had no expectations of
And you
what
got
was going to
that.
be there. But I was happy with the food that we had. It was just like I didn't know what was. I literally had no idea what was going to be there. I didn't know if everybody was going to bring mac and
Well-
cheese or if I was even supposed to bring something, even though they said to bring something. But I knew they weren't expecting me to bring anything. But it's a good thing that I did.
When
Yeah,
you,
for
when
sure.
you call it a Friendsgiving, though, and I don't know if those were your words or if it was the group's words, but when you call it a Friendsgiving, that does lead to some expectations. So I think if Nikki or I don't want to speak for you, Nikki, but if I walked in and it was like, here's
You're ready for
here's
Thanksgiving.
several different soups and this is our Friendsgiving, I'd be like, what gives?
See, I think it was better that way though because since it was after Thanksgiving. Like I'm
Yeah.
like over the whole like turkey mashed potatoes.
Yeah, you had
thing.
enough.
So at this point, like that was a good like change of pace.
But if you did not go to a Thanksgiving and you're like, oh no, this will be my
This is.
Thanksgiving.
Oh,
then
yeah.
you're still wanting it.
Then I would have been upset, but I wasn't counting on my friends to bring anything in
You call
specific.
your mom, you're like, Mom, you don't have turkey.
No turkey.
Come pick me up.
Come bring me a turkey, please.
Well,
There's
I'm glad
prob-
you did your mac and cheese, though. That was
Yes.
on Friday. We talked to a lot of you guys for like Friendsgiving and Friendsmas side dish and options, and mac and cheese was one of the top ones.
I wonder if there is a friend. Maybe they haven't said anything, but they were disappointed because they really thought it was
Oh,
going to
sure.
be
They thought it was going to be turkey there.
So they're like, just over there in their corner, just like sulking, like
Just so
I
angry.
was looking forward to the
or
gravy.
at least
There's
at
no
that
mashed
point,
potatoes.
like a Christmas ham or something.
Right.
Ooh,
You
a
need to
ham.
get something.
Oh, I love a ham. I can't wait for Christmas.
Yes, we need
Well,
some
don't
ham.
look for your friends to give
Yeah.
you that, so
No,
that it's
no.
not going to happen.
The Riot promise is that they'll always have an opinion on everything they talk about. But that doesn't mean any of their opinions will make sense. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Well, the COVID vaccine it is, did you know, I guess in many countries in Europe, it is even more important to have the vaccine than it is in the United States, or it is seen as, or let me put it this way. The restrictions are stricter in Europe if you have not gotten the COVID vaccine.
Yes.
But much like here in the United States, there are still people who are quite resistant to getting the vaccine, but don't want to have to deal with the restrictions, of course. So they're going to great lengths to try to find a way around it.
And it's not just football players, fibbing about.
Yeah, with their fake cards
and stuff.
Talking about being immunized. That's not going to...
I wondered if someone was going to try this. And I bet you it's been tried before. We just haven't heard it in the news.
Yeah, maybe it didn't make it into the news. It is a man in Italy who went in to get his COVID vaccine with a fake arm. He had
a fake arm, or he put a fake arm around his real arm.
It was a superfluous fake arm.
Okay.
It was not an actual
how dare
legitimate.
If he had lost his arm. So I think we need to watch
with
how
a prosthetic.
it is.
Oh, wrong arm there. Hold on. Let me turn around.
So I'm not sure.
No, it was. He was intentionally going in there. He had hatched this plan long before he actually went in, and so you know how you. I don't know. I guess
pull
if
your sleeve up.
Yeah, I guess it was like a theater, in the theater where you can have fake limbs. You know what I mean? Where you have to keep your arms inside the.
Inside your shirt.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I
so you
gotcha.
kept one arm inside his shirt.
They said that it was realistic looking, like it matched his skin color, but it was the silicone sort of style to it that did not fool them, and he was caught.
I think you have to give the people administering the vaccine a little more credit that they can spot a fake arm. They know what an arm looks like.
I know you say that, but it depends. It depends on if you're doing the drive-through thing. Or are you in a more set up office for a doctor or something? Or if it's just where they throw the needle at you in hopes that it hits your arm.
Right, yeah.
It depends on where you're getting it at.
Yeah, so maybe this guy thought he was going to
someone who is
more
not as
untrained.
observant.
Yeah. He thought he would get away with it, but of course obviously he did not, since it's in the news. And I don't know if he's going to wind up going through with the vaccine with a real arm next time, or what his plan is going forward, or just deal with the Italian restrictions. Who knows?
So does he get in trouble? Did he get a fine or?
Yeah, you know what? I don't think.
Did they all have a laugh at it?
I mean, the
and
local
send him on his
police
way?
reported on it, but I don't know that. What is the crime there?
Not sure.
Technically, it's not illegal, right? So
it would be if he then went to go someplace with the.
But how would anyone know?
Well, the arm, maybe
until
he caught
the virus, and it was a much more serious situation. If he, because more likely he would have issues with it than if he wasn't vaccinated. But he's really hurting himself in that situation.
He's still, and then where's the arm at? What's he going to do with that?
Hey, the arm's protected. Is what. That arm is safe. Don't bring the arm into the problem. It's not the arm's fault.
You're right. He took it home and he's fine and he's sorry.
Now that arm can go wherever it wants. No mask, no nothing.
The arm has his card.
Yeah.
That's it.
Maybe
just has to go with
he could
his
get
friend.
around the loophole if he just constantly lived with the fake arm.
All the time.
And the arm was the one holding the vaccine card. It's look. It is you can't technically call it a liar.
I don't know if they offer you, you don't get your arm, but you get the fake one. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, well, this is just, I guess if you want to try to get away with it, it might not technically be a crime, but we're not recommending it.
Good idea.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Well, it all went down over the weekend. The college football championship games for every conference happened, and it sorted everything out. And now we have a top 4 teams that will be playing for the national championship. Isaiah, what do you make of it?
I mean, it's the least controversial one ever, essentially. Yeah. There's no real controversy.
It's amazing how it all just worked out.
I didn't pay attention enough over the weekend from when you guys said we should be watching on Friday for college football. So I wasn't sure if we were happy. I know some people are sad, but if we're okay with how everything turned out.
It went about as well as could be expected, right? Yeah.
I mean, obviously I want Ohio State to be in because they're obviously one of the 4 best teams, but It's okay. I think if you're a fan of, like, if you don't like when Alabama gets in and you don't like when Ohio State gets in, like, if you don't like the really, really good teams, then you should be cheering for Cincinnati, because I'll tell you this. If Cincinnati gets crushed by Alabama, there will not be another, like, non-Power 5 team in for probably 30 years. Like, they will not put them in again. So if you don't like Alabama and Ohio State and Georgia and Clemson, you should be pulling for Cincinnati to win by 40.
Yeah, it's going to be, at least give them a good game.
Yeah, as long as it's a good game, but if they get blown out, like, it'll be...
They'll never get invited again.
They will never be... It's like the one friend that was controversial to invite to the party anyway. If you come in and you act weird when you get there, there's no chance you or any of your other weird friends are going to be there ever again.
That's a unique way to put that. So it's Alabama, Michigan, Georgia, Cincinnati.
Yeah, so we get Alabama against Cincinnati, which... It's funny because I don't know that I would have said this until Saturday, but Cincinnati, leading up to the playoffs or leading up to this weekend, it would have been like, oh, Cincinnati's got to be in. They're undefeated. They played great, against the better competition they faced. They've done really well. Alabama, they don't look so good. Like, if Cincinnati played Alabama, who knows? Now my thoughts have completely changed. Now it's like Cincinnati might as well not even show up.
Oh, good. Come on. Maybe it'll be fine.
No, because you give Nick Saban, the coach of Alabama, you give him like a month to prepare for Cincinnati.
He'll be able to.
They're going to be able to figure it out. It's that one. There would be nothing more shocking than Cincinnati even keeping it close, which would be great. I hope they do. I just know they're not. And then, so that leaves us only Michigan to root for because Georgia's boring. So let's go Michigan.
Whoa. Let's not get too crozy here, all right?
So Michigan and Georgia, they're the Orange Bowl on New Year's Eve. And then Alabama, Cincinnati's doing the Cotton Bowl.
Well, don't you want, root for your Big Ten?
No.
Yeah, come on.
No chance.
Hey, you could say, Ohio State, we were so close. We just... we almost could have been champions if we just could have beat the eventual champion. Look how close we were. Yeah, you could argue we're the second best team in the whole country.
I don't think I want to watch the game with any of you.
No. I hope Michigan loses by 70 points. That's how I hope.
So all your good stuff is going to Cincinnati.
Yes, I hope Cincinnati beats Alabama. My best case scenario is Cincinnati versus Georgia, and then Cincinnati wins. I hope Cincinnati wins it all. I think it'd be great for them to win it all.
It'd be great.
The Buckeyes are playing Utah?
Yes, Ohio State plays Utah.
Yeah, that's exciting, huh?
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah?
It's going to be so exciting.
You get a parade before your game.
Some roses.
Guys, it's hard. Listeners, just come closer. It's hard between the two to know where to be happy for or encouraging or understand their discouragement.
Yeah.
So I think I know for these two games what we should be going for.
We're definitely anti-Alabama. We all agree on that.
There we go. Everybody agrees on that.
Cincinnati. Go Cincinnati. That's where I'm at right now.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Well, you know what we haven't talked about in a while?
What?
The holidays.
Whoop-de-doo.
Whoop-de-doo.
Hey!
Yeah, the holidays are coming up, and Nikki, I know you've already purchased all of your gifts.
They're wrapped and everything. But they're already in sections too, because I store them like, okay, this is for this family thing, and this is for this party, and for that. Mm-hmm. So we're all ready to go. So when the day comes, you go into the thing, you grab them, and you go.
You're all set.
I'm ready.
Well, for anybody else that's wondering, and you're just really trying to figure out what do I give for Christmas, I have a survey here. Guess how many people they surveyed?
2,000 people.
2,000.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Correct. It's always 2,000.
Every time we find a study in a survey.
Yep. This survey was commissioned by BJ's. Have you ever heard of BJ's?
The restaurant?
No. The
shopping place?
Yeah, it's like Costco, but it's not here.
Yes, I have heard of it.
So they commissioned this survey of 2,000 people, asking them a lot of questions about, gift giving. And which gifts they think are the safe gifts to give. So the number one most universally enjoyed gift based off of these 2,000 people, chocolate.
Chocolate?
58% of people said chocolate is a great gift.
So how like close are we talking these gifts are for people? Because if I was super, super close to somebody, I feel like chocolate is not good enough.
Not enough on its own.
It's not enough on its own.
Yeah.
But then if you are casually acquaintance with the person.
If it's a gift exchange, a Yankee swap situation, you don't know what you're going to get, the chocolate will be popular.
That would be good.
It won't be the top of the list, but it'll be sought after. Somebody will want it.
I feel like gift cards should have been number one.
Gift cards is up there. Gift cards comes in actually in third place. 49% of people said gift cards are a safe gift option.
So what's in between chocolate and gift cards?
This is a surprise. Holiday gift baskets.
Which
can
lot of times
mean like anything.
Okay, what's in a holiday gift basket? Chocolates.
It could be chocolate.
And gift cards.
Yeah.
It's just the two together.
It could be, or you could get one of those that's like soap. So,
yeah, or like it's a coffee mug and there's a gift card with it.
It really means a lot of times it's alcohol, so that can mean anything.
I don't get a lot of gift baskets each year.
No, that's totally like a office thing, right?
It is. So we'll get sometimes here like for people that work here, and those are great because then they go on the break room table.
Yeah. You know, we haven't gotten too many of those yet. I guess it's still...
Didn't you see all the cookies on Friday?
Yeah.
That was a gift basket.
That was one.
That was a gift box.
Yeah. I guess we still have 3 more weeks of such things. So they're coming.
Every time the mail comes, we should look and see, okay, is it chocolates? Is it a gift basket? Or if it's a gift card? That's the 3.
Those are the top 3. And then they also found some interesting stuff about wish lists. 7 in 10 people, 70% say they request everyone that they need to give a gift to will give them a wish list, and 62% will give other people their wish list.
Yeah.
Like maybe unprompted. So what do you think about the wish list?
I don't mind like the Amazon one because between me and a few friends, it's there and it's shared.
Yeah.
So I think that's fine. If, again, you don't know them as well, that is a bit presumptuous.
Yeah.
To share your wish list if they did not ask for it. I mean, even at our age, you're like, yeah, your mom will still ask you for your wish list.
Right.
And that's totally fine.
But yes, you're right. It depends on how close you are to the person. Yeah, you can't just go handing it out. That's a big red flag right there.
And then if you do that, be thankful if you just at least get a gift basket.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting anything on your gift list.
I just think like wish lists are especially helpful for the fringe people that like if you're hoping the fringe people will ask you for a wish list because sometimes you don't want them guessing. You know what I mean? You have to act like you're happy with the gift they give you if you don't like it. And sometimes like what they think you want is just it's a tough look in the mirror. A tough look at how they are looking at you.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. So please, if you're planning on getting a gift,
all right, fine,
ask for a
Hudson.
wish
Will you
list.
share your wish list, please? Thank you.
Well, I have to make one first.
Get on it then.
Yeah! You were one of the lucky few who missed the riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Do you remember it was last week when we talked about that high school basketball game? It was in Iowa where after the game, you know, they go through the handshake line, the two teams, and the one player just straight up sucker punches a player on the other team right in the stomach.
We watched the video. Like it's bad. And I never did hear the rest of the details on like were they fighting during the game or what, but the guy just went after him.
Yeah, I still don't have a lot of details on what led to it.
And this is during the thank you line, like good game,
yeah,
good game.
Right. Everybody goes good game. You shake hands, even though you lost. You just deal with it.
He just went after him.
It's part of the game. It's good sportsmanship. And this guy, I mean, it's an amazing video because he really knocks him out cold, and that is why he is now being charged with a felony.
Ooh, so he could be up to possibly 10 years.
10 years in
convicted.
prison.
And I know everybody's like, well, you're innocent until proven guilty, but the video is pretty clear. So
it's not like somebody else punched the guy.
No, it was him.
Yeah, so he was charged with felony willful injury, causing serious injury. So that, leads up to 10 years in prison. The player that was punched suffered a concussion and a cut to his mouth that required 4 stitches. So they got him good.
They did.
And man, that is, I don't know. You would be surprised if he actually faces 10 years gets 10 years in prison, especially being a minor.
He might get something at that point, but they said that the hearing will be on December 13th. But a lot of people were talking about still that video over the weekend.
Yeah.
Because it was just, bad. No right time to ever do that.
Yeah.
But especially in the good game line.
Yeah.
Like, that's where you're supposed to put down your anger of what happened during the game. And that is where you're supposed to show some good sportsman-like conduct.
Didn't he see all
that wasn't it.
all of his teammates teammates around him. I'm assuming they were the losing team, and they lost, and they took it all with grace and took it all in stride and went through and shook the hands anyways. And then there's Carter over here just going nuts.
That's also the hard thing, because you don't want to, just it's him. He did it, but it's a bad look for the whole team.
Yeah,
and it's especially bad look for like the whole school, because this is what they'll be known for from the one guy who punched the guy in the line.
Yeah, not a. But
and
hey,
he was like, he may have deserved it. Yes, but you still can't do it. You're not supposed to hit people.
Well, there's an opening on the team now, Nikki, for that. I think he's not going to be. It does say he's doing court on December 13th, but I think that means like, court.
Yeah.
Not the basketball court.
Well, and maybe that's where the judge does his creative sentencing.
Yeah.
It's like he has the whole court and the whole hearing there.
That would be would it be a cruel and unusual punishment to make him have to like shoot 1 million free throws in a row or something?
No, that's just practice.
Yeah,
no. You have to find something else.
He comes out of jail. He's the better basketball player than anyone's ever seen.
We are not allowed to hit each other, all right?
Why pay for so many streaming services that you don't really care about when you can not really care about The Riot for free? Radio U.
All right, Nikki. If I was going to ask you which country gets drunk the most, which country would you pick?
Oh, I don't want to say, because then someone would be like, well, why would you pick that country?
You got like a 1 in 200 and some odds of getting it right. How many countries are there? 200, 300?
Yeah, I pass respectfully on picking which one. I just want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed this. I wouldn't have, but now that I know, and it is Australia.
They get it?
Australia is the number one country as far as getting drunk.
Foster's.
Yeah, Foster's. Australian for beer.
That's the one.
Yeah, do you still see that commercial?
Not as often, but for a while there. And I remember speaking, like, there was all these Australians that are like, hey, guys, just to let you know, like, that's not what it's like. That and the Bloomin' Onion, like, that's not it.
Yeah, I feel like they were definitely playing up the Australian stereotypes in that one. I will never.
To the people that don't know any better.
Yeah, right. We have no idea. Well, Australia, now we can have one stereotype of Australians. They love to get drunk because they almost get drunk almost twice as much as the average. So, like, on average, this is according to the Global Drug Survey's 2021 report, they found that on average, like just a regular person that they surveyed would get drunk about 14 and a half times a year. Mm-hmm. So Australia, the people there reported getting drunk about almost 28 times per year, 27.7.
That's a bit more than the other one.
And if you look at their definition of how they were describing getting drunk, it's pretty extreme. It's not just like, well, I had 2 beers or whatever. It's like where you're slurring your, like actually where it's noticeably different.
They say your physical and mental faculties are impaired to the point where your balance and speech are affected.
Yeah.
And you're unable to focus clearly on things, so that your conversation and behaviors are different from what you normally have with people. That's what they consider. So it is more than maybe what you would think for a lower amount of alcohol.
It strikes me as like you're definitely several drinks in to get to that point, or maybe not. Maybe just one does you in. I don't know. But for Australia, almost twice as much as the rest of the world. Denmark and Finland came in next. Where
I assume that's to warm you up more.
Yeah,
or
right.
Keep you hearty.
They're drinking some kind of hard liquor that keeps you. Where Australia does seem like Foster's.
Maybe that's to cool you down.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
You're really looking for climate areas where it's more extreme.
Yeah. But here's what's interesting: at the bottom of the list, Mexico, Romania, and New Zealand.
Really?
New Zealand, right next to Australia. And there could not be more of a difference in their drinking habits. I think, what do you think about Australia? They strike me as they're drinking to forget. Like they've seen something.
Wait, Australia or New Zealand?
Australia. Like they've seen a cow that's way bigger than it's supposed. You know what I mean?
Oh, because of the insects, like the spiders and the
like
snakes?
They're just trying to cope with the things they've seen, the things they have to live with every day being in Australia.
We've not been there before, but they do always say that things are a little bit more extreme in Australia than you're used to.
They almost got chased down by a kangaroo. So, like something like that. And so the only way to get rid of those memories, to keep them at bay, is is to get plastered 28 times a year.
Well, the big problem that a lot of countries are having now is it goes back and forth every day of like if things are better from COVID or not better.
Because for Australia, for a long time, they were having an easier time with it.
Well, they were saying, though, that for some people, you took COVID times to stop drinking. And then when COVID times relaxed, some people went back and went more aggressive.
Yeah.
And then for some places, you didn't stop the whole time and you were actually more aggressive when at home.
Right.
So for this, they're just saying that in Australia, it's there.
Yeah. And there's definitely lots of info about like some people saying that they drank during COVID because they hadn't drank in a long time. And this is how they dealt with the stress and stuff like that. It wasn't a large percentage of people, but definitely noticeable that it changed people's habits. And in Australia, I don't know, that they say that Australia has been near the top of the list before. So,
so
it might not
new.
just be the COVID thing. It might be the giant spiders.
So are you saying they're the returning champions? Yeah. Is that it?
Don't challenge an Australian to a drinking contest.
They'll win.
Is what we're saying. 'Cause they have a track record, evidently.
Hudson, Nikki, The Riot on Radio U.
Get a load of this guy in the UK who has spent about 8 years recreating a realistic model railway from the 1980s.
Wow.
He was trying to recreate, basically, I guess when he was a child, he spent a lot of time just watching trains.
Yeah.
So between like acquiring maps from that time and his own memory, made like even was putting trees in all the right spots, right, for this little model railway. He had a whole barn rented out so, that he could do this. And he was keeping it a secret from his girlfriend for a long time because he didn't want to admit.
Yeah, he was doing this?
Yeah, he thought it was not quite cool enough to admit to his girlfriend at the time.
Imagine if they were fighting, like she thought that he was being unfaithful and really it was like he was just in the
What
barn
are you doing every time you go down to that mill?
For 8 years.
Yeah, for 8 years.
8 years of work. He'd been working on this giant model train setup.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to make it as true to, like you said, his childhood as possible.
Yeah, he said he was telling her that he was a wine merchant.
He was
because he had this huge mill, this mill with a huge basement where he was putting together the train stuff, and so that was his excuse.
I'm trying to put myself like in her shoes to see after 8 years thinking someone's doing a job, finding out that it's him building something that was obviously very much important to him.
Yeah.
But I wonder how I would initially have reacted, like to just first hearing that he wasn't a wine merchant. He was building the model train setup.
Well,
in a rented barn.
Yeah.
It's
well,
not even your barn.
It sounds like, I don't know how much this would cost, but it sounds like maybe he's doing all right, unless he seriously plunged himself into crippling debt by
That'd be another
renting
problem.
this mill and building this train set. But otherwise, it sounds like maybe he's doing all right. So maybe she's just like, yeah, you know what? I'll let it slide. Because you're making as much money as a wine merchant.
He probably had, some other job. But he said he kind of led her to believe because a wine merchant sounded cooler than building a model railway.
Well, most things sound cooler than building a model railway. Although, to be fair, I wouldn't mind seeing it. The building of the model railway is what's not cool. The seeing it, I'm fine with that, right?
They don't show a picture of the whole thing, which I wish they would.
It's probably too big to include in one picture very easily. But
Simon George, congratulations for completing your giant model train setup.
Yeah, and keeping it a secret for so long.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Nothing like an 8-year lie. That's fine.
Mission accomplished. If your relationship can survive that.
I was going to say, I wonder if he's single now. They don't cover that
side.
side.
Well, maybe you put this in your dating profile. You'll do all right.
Yeah,
You'll meet another train head.
An enthusiast.
Yeah.
The Riot Podcast. Radio U.
We just missed getting to this on our Friday show.
Did we?
It was too good to pass up, though.
I don't know if you guys might agree about, did we all it's a shame we missed telling this story.
Oh, no.
Or
you need
if you need to hear this.
It's too good to let it go.
Is it?
It is a report from Newsweek that there was an incident on a Delta flight between Syracuse and Atlanta where a woman was she had some interventions called on her. There had to be some authorities greet her at the gate once the plane landed.
You know, it's bad too when it's not only like an in-flight conflict thing, but they're meeting you when you land.
They're grabbing you off the plane once you hit the tarmac.
Need to talk with you a bit more about how your behavior was on the plane.
You get to go off the plane first, though.
Yeah, do you or do you have to wait? Oh, then
I would think they would make everybody else sit and they, extract the culprit.
That's worse then because everybody hates you even more because you cause problems during the plane and they have to wait.
Yep, right. So we're burying the lead. The reason the woman
I don't want to get to it.
was met with the authorities upon landing is because she was trying to breastfeed her cat.
There it is.
On the plane.
So
some people took issue with that.
What happened was they had noticed that there was something swaddled in a blanket with her, and they thought that, is it a baby? It's not. It was a cat, and that's what the cat was screaming for its life.
Yes,
because the cat didn't want to do what she wanted to do.
They said it was
put it back in the carrier.
They said it was a hairless cat, which somehow just adds to the nastiness of it. So the pilot, I like how the pilot had to send a message over the pilot, communication system thing
to the ground.
Yeah, to let them know, and just the idea of having to type that out or however they do it.
Now, Delta was saying, hey, emotional support animals are still fine as long as you have all the rules with them for small cats and dogs, but they must stay in a carrier under the seat for the entire flight.
This woman needed a lot of emotional support.
And then there was what was she doing with the cat and why? And that's its own second layer over there. But people took notice, and it caused some friction when she was confronted by the crew.
Is it a crime to try to breastfeed your cat?
I think it is.
Is it?
I maybe. The cat
what
doesn't
crime
want
is
that. No, the cat's not like me.
You can't kick me off this plane. The cat wants it.
No, the cat didn't. They said the cat was screaming.
Well,
it was meowing.
It just does that sometimes.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, me and this cat have a very intimate relationship.
That's not a bond that should be had. That is not it.
I just don't understand because that seems scary. Like that would hurt. The cat's got teeth and claws.
Listen,
what are you doing?
I don't understand it. And I know sometimes they're like, well, you just don't understand.
Yeah.
It's like you had to be
You don't
there.
understand the bond.
They had to call the authorities, so I think even if we were there, we would understand how this wasn't working out.
I think the cat needed some emotional support.
Yeah, well, people were talking in the comment section like, hey, she got in trouble for this. They need to start investigating her for her behavior with her animals to make sure that that's not even right.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm glad we weren't on that flight for a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons.
I hate flying just as it is, but I don't want to go on a flight and witness all that and then have to just be close to that.
And then get delayed because they have to, contact the security and whatever. It's just a headache we don't want to have to deal with.
That's a pass.
Yeah.
Everything you love about the riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, Isaiah, I know you're both Marvel fans to different degrees.
Sure.
Yes.
Some stronger than others.
But how do you feel about Daredevil, each of you?
So was Daredevil the Ben Affleck and then Netflix did it?
Yes.
That was the Ben Affleck.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
I just want to make sure that was the same character.
Ben Affleck did a movie that was a while ago. And then, yes, Netflix that was the first Marvel show that hit Netflix several years back. And they wound up doing 3 seasons. And the crossover thing with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage and the other guy. And that was all. That's Daredevil.
It seems like people liked Daredevil, the Netflix thing.
Did
like
you?
they liked the guy.
Or did you not
I didn't
watch
even
it?
I didn't even watch it. I didn't even watch the one.
You call yourself a Marvel
Yeah,
fan.
you're right. I should have watched it because it ties in so well into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
How could you even call yourself a fan if you haven't seen
I brought
it?
you over here because I thought Isaiah's a Marvel fan. He'll know about the Daredevil show. And
I know about the show. Did I watch it? No.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, of course.
I'm
all
just
3
checking.
seasons.
Just
I
making-
watched all of the Marvel Netflix stuff except for the other guy. It was Iron Fist.
You didn't watch Iron Fist?
I watched like an episode, and that was the one that everybody agreed, including myself, that this is garbage.
That was the bad
Really?
one.
My
I
whole
don't know.
family loved Iron Fist. My dad,
No
my
way.
brothers, they all
Really?
loved it. Yeah, they craved about it. They talked about I didn't watch it, but they all loved
Did
it.
they all rave about Daredevil?
I don't know if they watched Daredevil. I don't even know if they watched it.
You're blowing my mind. I think you're
What do you
trolling
mean?
me.
I'm not even trolling
You're making this
See,
up.
this is another thing. This is another thing about the Marvel Cinematic Universe that I've talked about in the past. Like, as you continue to add more and more characters, people become less and less strong, like, about the ones they really like. So you continue to lose part of your audience when you continue to add so much. But I think this is yet again another good addition because people really like Daredevil.
Yes.
But yet again, they're getting to this point where if you make it too complex, you're going to lose even people like me who follow it very well.
I think people were sad though because they liked the Daredevil.
Yeah.
Some of
set up
the-
for Netflix, and when that was gone, and they liked the guy that played him.
Some of the Marvel TV show on Netflix stuff was quite popular. Obviously, they made several seasons of a lot of the shows. And then, when Disney wound up, like starting their own streaming service and everything, all of that had to go away for that time. But now we have an official confirmation thanks to Kevin Feige from Marvel Studios. He's the head honcho there, of course. And he has revealed that Daredevil will be joining the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe. And Charlie Cox, who played Daredevil in the Netflix show, is going to be Daredevil.
There you
Hey. He's coming back because that's not fair if you didn't put him back in.
Right, yeah. He was
You
doing a
shouldn't have
great
to
job.
Don't recast him because of all the drama that happened back then.
Yeah. And so he says, his quote is, "Where we see that, how we see that, when we see that remains to be seen." Mm-hmm. That's
A lot of answers there.
A lot of seeing references compared to a blind character, don't you think?
Yeah.
They were saying that
Kind of an interesting choice of words.
there's been rumors that he would be returning in No Way Home, but they're just not sure. So no one's saying anything else.
Yeah. Well, we don't want it to be spoiled.
We would hate to spoil
You
it.
would hate to have No Way Home spoiled before it comes out, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you were already spoiled that the guy's going to play Spider-Man for
Yeah.
like 3
Yes.
or 4 more movies.
Yep, he's not dying anytime soon. Hey, you know what? Maybe there's still a way around that. Maybe he is Spider-Man, but he gets killed, and then he's Spider-Man's ghost
That
in the
also-
future movies.
That could. Let's just
Could
wait
be.
and see.
Let's just see what happens.
Let's
just
We're
see
getting
what
close.
happens.
We're getting close.
It
How
is.
far out are we? Like 11
a week
days?
and a half. Yep.
Yeah.
Next week, we're getting there.
I'm excited.
But until then, if you're a fan of Daredevil and you used to like the Netflix show, the guy that played Daredevil
Charlie
back then
Cox, yeah.
will be returning for more stuff with Marvel.
That's enough of that. For more Riot content, head to riot.radiou.com.